How do you make a winning offer in today's super competitive market? In this video, we're going to go over some tips and tricks on how to secure that house of your dreams. Coming right up. Hey everyone, Andrew here with the Lake Team in Houston, Texas. Welcome back to another video we have for you today. If you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, go ahead and smash that subscribe button down below. We do our best to produce the best content, the best real estate content for you each and every week. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight on in today's topic on how to make the winning offer in today's super competitive market, or in any other market for that matter. So the very first thing is you need to hire a buyer's agent or an agent that knows the local market. You know, I'm not going to really get into specifics on location because it really doesn't matter. Everyone's kind of looking at the same data, but you do need to have an agent that understands the local market. Houston is really big. You know, they need to understand, you know, how houses fly off the market, or if they're going to stay on the market a little longer than other parts of Houston. They need to understand the local market for sure. So yeah, so make sure you hire someone that has a pretty good comprehension on how, let's say for example, Katy works versus Baytown, or the Woodlands works versus Pearland. So each market is different. There's really nothing that's, you know, the same across the board. So having an agent that can have a competitive edge against others that knows what they're doing in those areas will be beneficial to you for sure. Number two, they write complete contracts. Man, I can't, as a listing agent, we have buyer's agents and listing agents, but as a listing agent, whenever we get contracts in from buyer's agents, sometimes it looks like a kindergartner wrote it. Really, I mean, it's pretty rough. The contracts aren't filled out correctly. A ton of spots that are left blank. So having an agent that can competently fill out a contract is a must. So interview as many agents as you can. Interview us. If you like us, go with us. If you don't, you know, make sure you choose someone who knows what they're doing. So that's number two. Number three, you need to have someone that's detail oriented, has a positive attitude, a good reputation, and good communication skills. All of those factor into how what comes into play with listing agents too. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always the seller that's going to choose the offer, but you can have some push if the seller's agent likes you, likes your offer, or likes the agent that you're working with, and they like your offer. They might say, hey, look, this might be the better option because this guy may have a positive outlook. He's probably easier to work with. They're not going to make everyone's life a living hell and try. You know, they're that agent that feels like they have something to prove, which that's a big problem in our industry. Agents just feel like they need something to prove. So, but having someone that has a good positive attitude, a good reputation, that's not known for shady things, and it has really good communication skills with their clients and has a good working relationship with other agents, it's imperative to choose somebody that has those attributes as a real estate agent for sure. Okay, so the next thing is price. Price really isn't the only factor, so we're going to go off of price. Of course, price, at the end of the day, what the seller is going to net is the most important. In a real estate offer, price isn't always the determining factor. Okay, there's other factors. Let's go over those real quick. Days to close. How long is it going to take you to close? Are you paying cash, like all cash? So meaning that you can close as quickly as title gets cleared, which is probably like 3 or 4 days. But then again, the seller has to be able to get out of the house in that short of time if it's a vacant house. So yeah, days to close. You have closing costs. Do you need help with closing costs? I know if it's not a super competitive area, or it's pretty competitive all over Houston, but I know if it's a house that's not really going to fly off the market just like that, you know, we'll ask for some closing costs. Usually we'll roll that into the offer. So let's say the offer or their asking price is $300. Depending on the situation, we may do a $295 with $5K in closing costs, meaning the seller is going to help cover some of your, as a buyer's closing costs. So it's a little less out of pocket for the buyers. But you know, not all the time we can do that. They may have, you know, 30 showings in the first 2 hours, which is pretty intense right now, depending on when you're watching this video, you know, years from now, or we're here in 2021, but it's pretty intense. And so some houses will have multiple offers within, you know, the first 24 hours of being on the market. And so at that point, as a buyer, you need to understand what it is that is more important to you. First of all, can you come up with closing costs on your own without needing help from the seller? And if you can, it may be beneficial to go ahead and just completely remove all the closing costs altogether, because the offer just looks cleaner that way, especially in multiple offer situations. A home warranty is not really a big one, but we usually put like $500 or $600 for a home warranty. It's not really a big one, but then again, if you're trying to make the winning offer and you know, make sure the seller is going to roll with yours rather than others, you could just, you know, not ask for a home warranty. And then again, you could pay for home warranty out of closing costs if you really needed to, but you know, home warranty is like $500 or $600, and it all depends on the package that you get as well. So the option period is a big one. The option period, I don't know if you're watching this video, if you've seen some of our previous videos discussing the buying process, but an option period it's your right to terminate during that time frame. So once the seller accepts your offer, down here in Houston, we usually have like a 7 to 10 day option period, and also known as in the contract a termination period, termination option. So you have 7 to 10 days to do your inspections and negotiate if need be, or if you wanted to. During that 7 to 10 days, the seller and buyers need to come to an agreement on any kind of repairs, if any kind of price adjustments, if any, contributions to closing costs, again, if any. So during that 7 to 10 day time frame, that's when you would get all that done. And if you can't get out of, or if no one could come to an agreement, that's typically whenever a buyer would terminate the contract altogether, and everyone would part their ways, and the buyer would then again be looking to find a new property to purchase. But anyways, so that explains the option period. Now, you could completely waive the option period. Again, we're trying to win the house here. We're trying to make a winning offer. I would never really advise it unless you're an investor, unless you've been involved in extensive remodels. I would never really advise going against getting, you know, just not doing your option period. You always need an inspection. You can do an inspection without an option period, but when you don't put an option in there, if the inspection comes back with something really rough that you're not comfortable with, you don't have that option to terminate the contract. You're stuck with it. But that's one way to do it, is completely remove an option if you're comfortable with that. That's one way to do it. Attaching, another way is pre-approval letter. You're going to attach your pre-approval letter with the offer. Always, 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 no matter what, regardless if you're in multiple offer situations or if you just randomly, they're just getting their first offer after X amount of days of on the market. You're always going to attach your pre-approval letter, and then the lender's information will be on there. And what we typically do is we let the lender know, like, hey, we're submitting an offer to, you know, this address, this seller. And then sometimes our lenders will actually reach out to those sellers agents and let them know, like, hey, I have, you know, Andrew Lake is working with a buyer, let's say Jason, for example. Andrew Lake is working with Jason, and you know, they're about to submit an offer to you guys. I just want to let you know they're really good. They're strong buyers, you know, so that kind of gives the seller's agent, the listing agent, a good, I guess they're comfortable with it. You know, it lets them know, like, hey, they're pretty strong. So that's one way to do it. So another one that's kind of controversial right now is a personal letter to the seller. That's still kind of up in the air. We used to do that quite a bit. We used to write a personal letter to our sellers, but I think NAR, the National Association of Realtors, is starting to, you know, try to crack down on that. They're saying it's a discrimination issue because potentially someone could look at this family versus this, you know, maybe a single person, or, you know, just all kinds of discrimination. But we have in the past just wrote personal letters. We didn't really like to do pictures for that particular reason, but just a letter explaining, you know, like, hey, you know, my name is Cynthia, you know, we've been looking for a house for, you know, X amount of days. This house is perfect. You know, I saw that you worked in oil and gas. You know, my husband works in oil and gas. You know, that kind of stuff we used to do. But it is a little touchy subject right now. I'll know more. I'll be able to put out a video on that pretty soon, but it is a really touchy subject to write personal letters, which you have to be careful whenever you're writing these personal letters. Okay, so one other thing is you want to understand the situation that you're in, or understand the situation that house is in. What is the condition of it? What does it look like? How well is it staged? Is the pictures really nice? Is there cars lined up to go check out the property? You know, whenever you're going to do showings. So, will the property have multiple offers is the big question right now. That's something that your agent should know because of his knowledge of the local market, right? That's the very first thing that we talked about. Will the property have multiple offers is something you need to know. And that's gonna kind of determine how you're gonna make your winning offer, how you're going to, you know, remove certain items that maybe typically would be on there, like option periods, home warranties, closing costs, days to close, if you can close faster than other people can. Those are all the different techniques, basically. But yeah, when it comes to multiple offers, I have an upcoming video that I'm gonna share with you guys. We'll go in pretty in depth in depth as we can when it comes to multiple offers and when you should walk away. There's a certain point that I think a lot of people should walk away whenever you're overpaying for a property, for sure. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video for today. I know it's kind of a long one, but this is a very important one nonetheless. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, or if you have any further questions, the link will be in the description to visit our website, and you could reach out to us directly from there. If you have a topic that you would like us to record, make a video about, shoot us a message, send us a text, an email, or just leave a comment section again. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Again, we try our best to release really good content for you guys each and every week, covering real estate topics here in the Houston area. And once you hit that subscribe button, you'll be the first to get notified whenever we release some new videos. So anyways, I'm Andrew with the Lake Team here in Houston, Texas, and I'll see you next time, my friends.